Hello. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Hello. Hello. Yes, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, good. So we are good to start. Hello and welcome everyone for another session on easy vegetarian cooking. My name is Bhavna from Culture Cool. Today we will be making a colorful vegetarian dish. And before we begin, I like to thanks to Hoboken Public Library for organizing these wonderful sessions. And all the patrons of Hoboken Public Library, please go check Hoboken Public Library's website and their Facebook page for their upcoming events and for their summer programs. I hope you all will enjoy this session. Now let's get started. I would like to tell you the name of the dish first. The name of this dish is called Veg Jalfrezi, which is like a mixed vegetable cooked in a tomato based sauce with some aromatic spices. So let me show you the ingredients first. So for making this Veg Jalfrezi, you can choose your choice of vegetables, about half cup each. So we are going to use here like 3 full cup of vegetables, assorted vegetables of your choice. Now again, you can increase any of the vegetable which you like more, or you can just avoid some particular vegetables if you are not a fan of that vegetable. So I am going to use some cauliflower florets here and some green peas. I ran out of baby corn, so I'm going to use the yellow corns and some green beans. I'm going to cut this zucchini about half a cup, and some carrots and a bell pepper. And this paneer is optional. I've cubed it already. If you have it handy, you can add it. If not, that's perfectly fine. This dish comes out good even without paneer too. So these are the main vegetables, and to make the sauce we are going to use tomato puree. Now if you are making this tomato puree from the fresh tomatoes, then you make like 1 cup of puree, but I'm going to use here the canned tomato purees, which is a little more sour than the fresh tomatoes, so I'm using it about half a cup. And then for flavoring, we are going to use ginger and garlic paste, some let me show you some green chilies, and here's the spice mix for this. So I'm going to use some cumin, some nutmeg. I'm going to grate it freshly because the freshly grated spices gives the wonderful aroma. And we are going to use 1 teaspoon of red chili, half teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of garam masala, and 1 teaspoon of kasuri methi. This kasuri methi and the garam masala will go at the end. And of course salt as per your taste, and about 3 tablespoons of oil we are going to use in this dish. And finally we are going to garnish our dish with some fresh green cilantro. So now let's begin. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my stove. And I'm using 2 different pans, so we can just speed up the process of cooking here because we only have limited time. So what we are going to do is we are going to saute all these vegetables separately, and we are going to prepare the sauce in a separate pan. So the vegetables in the pan I'm going to add. So you have to put the vegetables in the order of the time it takes to cook. So first I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of oil in one of my pan where I am going to make the sauce, and 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan where I'm going to saute my vegetables. So for that, I think the carrots and the cauliflower takes a little longer time. So I'm going to first add these vegetables into the pan. And if you cut thin slices, it will cook quickly. I think this much should be okay. So now all these vegetables I'm just taking roughly about half a cup. So half of the zucchini should be enough. Okay. This is gonna be very colorful vegetable mix here. And I think half bell pepper should be enough. Just take out the seeds, and we're just going to use the outer part and just cut it into like bigger pieces, like some bigger square pieces. Okay, that's done. Now let's check on the pan here. I hope you can see both my pans. Okay. So in the pan where I'm going to saute my vegetables, the first thing I'm going to put is carrot and cauliflower, because these two vegetables are going to take a little longer than the other vegetables. Now there is another option. You can actually parboil these vegetables, but I feel like when you saute them in the oil, it tastes better. Some people even deep fry these vegetables, but that part I don't actually like it. So I just prefer to saute them. Now in my another pan, the paneer cubes I have, I'm going to saute them first. But let me see if the pan is warm enough. It's still not that warm, so I'm going to cut my onion meanwhile. So the onion also, what I'm going to cut is, you can either thinly slice it or cut it like dice. So I am going to cut it like in dices. So, you know, some bigger pieces of onion like this. And now let's see if my pan is ready to saute the paneer pieces. So I'm going to just put one first and see if it's warm. Yes, I think it's sizzling, so I'm going to put these paneer cubes in there. And in the same oil, we are going to roast the onions and make our sauce here. And while this paneer is getting we need to get this paneer a little golden in color. So meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I am going to mince my ginger and garlic, which I always like to use the fresh one. So here's my ginger and my little grater. So I'm just going to grate it. So I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of ginger and garlic. Here I'm going to grate my garlic now. And this ginger garlic we will be roasting with the onion. Okay, so my ginger and garlic is ready. Now let's just turn these paneer cubes. Be careful. Now when you flip them, you will see they are like nice and golden on the other side. We don't need to let them be like brown. Just slightly golden is okay, and if they are not same from all four sides, that's also fine. And I'm going to quickly take these out, and meanwhile I'm just going to stir in my vegetables here. Okay, I'm quickly going to cover it so that it gets cooked a little faster. And now I am going to take out these paneer cubes in a bowl. Now be careful when you saute these paneer cubes. Now see, they're nice and golden. They sometimes like splutter a little in oil. Now in the same hot oil I am going to add my half teaspoon of cumin, and into that we will be adding our minced garlic, and let this roast first a little so that the raw flavor of garlic goes away, and then we are going to add our ginger and onion. Okay, the garlic looks a little golden now, so I'm going to add ginger here. Okay, it's nice and fragrant. Now I'm going to add the onion pieces. If you don't like the big pieces of onion, feel free to fine chop them. But in this recipe, these big chunks of onion, they give a nice look. Now into this, I'm going to add one green chili, which I'm just going to slit lengthwise. So here's the green chili. And now let this onion turn to slightly golden, and meanwhile we are going to check on our vegetables. Now I can see the steam, so looks like the cauliflower and carrot is like half cooked. So at this point we are going to add rest of our vegetables. So here I am going to add green beans and zucchini, and corn. And now give it a good mix. And let this steam for another minute. Then we are going to add the bell pepper and the peas at the end and just cook for 1 minute, because we like to have the crunch of bell pepper. And peas I'm using, they are frozen, so they are like, you know, they take very less time to cook. do is the tomato puree we have, I'm going to add my dry spices into this and then just mix in. So red chili goes in there. Now the red chili, if you have the Kashmiri red chili powder which we used for our paneer butter masala gravy, you can use that. That gives a brighter red color and it's not very spicy. So I'm just going to give it a mix, the turmeric and red chili into the tomato puree. Now onion looks slightly translucent and somewhere it's getting a little golden, so I'm going to roast a little more. But meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I am going to grate some nutmeg. So I'm going to grate about 1/8 teaspoon. Nutmeg is going to give a very good flavor to this dish. Okay, that should be it. I did not add the nutmeg earlier because otherwise it would get burned in the hot oil. So now the onion is almost ready. We are almost ready to add our tomato puree into it. That looks good. And now I am going to add this tomato puree and the spice mix, which is red chili powder and turmeric powder. Now if you are using fresh tomatoes, make sure you get nice ripe red tomatoes. Okay, so now in my vegetable pan, now I am going to add bell pepper and our frozen peas. Okay. Now let's add 1 teaspoon of salt into this. That's again as per your taste. Now look at this, how colorful these vegetable mix. It's gonna be a perfect combination of vitamins, and for protein we are going to add some paneer cubes into it. And for pairing this dish, any Indian bread like roti or naan or paratha goes very well, so that makes it complete meal. Now I'm going to cover this pan for 1 minute. Okay, there's 1 carrot piece there stuck. Let it cook for 1 minute, and we are going to stir our tomato masala in this pan. So let this get roast nicely. You will smell when it gets cooked, and you will also see the masala will start leaving the oil from the sides. That means it is ready to mix the vegetables. Now here the vegetable jalfrezi, there are actually 2 ways to make it. So I am making the lighter version of it, but there is another way to make this jalfrezi, which is also called makhni jalfrezi. So in that we use the same gravy what we made for the paneer butter masala. So in that you make the curry and you roast these vegetables into butter. And the same way you can check the 2 weeks back I think we made, so you can check that video to make the makhni gravy. Basically in that makhni gravy we roast onion and tomatoes with spices first, and then we blend them into the smooth paste, and you add that paste into these cooked but in the crunchy state cooked vegetables. We don't want to get these vegetables mushy, If there's a little crunch in there, that tastes better. Check on the veggies. It's steaming now. It should be ready in about a minute. Now we added 1 teaspoon of salt into the vegetables, and now I'm going to add like 1/4 teaspoon of salt into the tomato masala. Now this masala is almost ready. Now we can toss in our paneer cubes here in the masala at this stage, because the paneer cubes usually do not have any taste. They are bland. So if you coat them in the masala first, they will absorb the flavor of masala, and they'll also absorb some salt, because the vegetables we are cooking, they already have salt. So this paneer should also absorb some salt from this masala. The color looks nice. Meanwhile, I just got my serving dish. And let's check onto the veggies. Yes, they look good. Now, almost ready to mix in with the sauce. The steam which got collected into the pan, I just dumped it back into these vegetables, because this veg jalfrezi is not supposed to be like very dry, but there is no gravy in it, but you know, a little slightly moist kind of. Okay, so now you can see this masala is ready. Look at that, it's leaving some oil on the side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this masala into my vegetable pan. And I'm going to bring my vegetable pan here so that you can have a better look. Let's mix in. Okay, I'm going to take this spoon out. And my other spoon already has some masala in it, so I'm just going to wipe that masala into my vegetables. How colorful this looks. It's a perfect source of multivitamins and protein. Goes very well with roti, paratha or naan. Look at this nice color. And I'm just going to cover it for about 1 minute so that the vegetables absorbs the flavor of all the masalas. cover it for 1 minute, and till then we are just going to chop some fresh cilantro. Okay, let's just chop some fresh cilantro. Cilantro is a very important ingredient in Indian cooking. We add it in almost everything. It gives a good flavor and a wonderful look on top of any dish. So we are just waiting for about 1 minute. So all these masalas gets absorbed in the vegetables and paneer. And then we will be serving it. I'm not making naan right now, but I did make naan for one of my sessions. You can check the recipe for naan that you can make from pizza dough. Let's open this pan and check. Okay, can you see the steam? This looks so colorful and smells so good. I hope you guys are going to give it a try. It's very simple to cook. Very simple ingredients are used in this vegetable mix in here. Now I am going to add my garam masala powder into this, and here I have 1 teaspoon of kasuri methi, which I am going to crush a little in between my palms. So when you add any that kind of fragrant spice to any dish, if you crush them freshly, they always give the most of the flavors they have. So in any dish, if you are using fennel seeds or carom seeds, just take whatever required amount is in your recipe and then just take it in your hand and crush it. Now this kasuri methi I already roasted. When you roast it, then also the flavors increase in these spices. So here were some like dry stems. I'm just not going to put them. I am just going to use the crushed leaves in there. You can see all these kasuri methi leaves, and as soon as you mix them, when it gets heated, it gives a wonderful aroma to the dish. And our vegetable jalfrezi is ready to be served. Let's just plate it. Here I've got my serving dish. If you guys are going to try this recipe, let us know in comments. If you have any questions, leave it in comments. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And this looks wonderful, and I'm just going to garnish it with some fresh cilantro. And look at this, how nice, colorful it looks. And I know I cannot give you the smell of this, but if you are going to try it, you will be amazed by the aroma of this vegetable mix. So I hope you enjoyed this session and you are going to give it a try. And the doors of Hoboken Public Library are temporarily closed, but you can check all their upcoming events on their website and on their Facebook page. Hoboken Library is organizing so many wonderful sessions for all ages, so please check them out. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed session. Enjoy rest of your evening. Bye bye. Okay. Bye again.